The Krathen ship emerged from hyperspace like a shadow falling across the stars. Commander Vrax stood on the bridge, his forearms crossed over his chest as he studied the blue planet below. Earth. The humans called it Earth. Such a small world, said his second-in-command, Thek, adjusting the bone trophies hanging from his neck. Hard to believe these creatures have given the Galactic Council so much trouble. Vrax's mandibles clicked in what passed for a smile among his species. The Krathens were the most feared hunters in the galaxy. For 10,000 years, they had stalked prey across 100 star systems. No species had ever defeated them. No prey had ever escaped once marked. The Council pays well for difficult prey, Vrax said. 50 million credits to eliminate the human threat. They say these creatures are dangerous. Thek laughed, a sound like grinding metal. Dangerous. They have barely left their own solar system. Their ships are primitive. Their weapons are based on chemical explosives. We have hunted the telepathic mind-weavers of Altair. We have killed the shape-shifting shadows of the Dark Nebula. What could these humans possibly do? The bridge crew murmured their agreement. There were 20 Krathens on this hunting vessel, each one a veteran of 100 successful hunts. They had studied the humans for weeks. Soft skin, no natural weapons, average strength, limited senses. The only unusual thing about them was their rapid technological advancement, but that hardly mattered against Krathen battle experience. "Deploy the scout drones," Vrax ordered. "Let us see what these humans are doing." The drones descended through Earth's atmosphere, invisible to human detection systems. They spread across the planet, sending back streams of data. Vrax watched the feeds with growing amusement. Cities full of weak creatures going about their daily lives. Military bases with soldiers carrying projectile weapons. Aircraft that still relied on fuel combustion. "Look at them," Thek pointed at one screen showing a human family having dinner. "They eat plants. They cook their meat. They have lost all their predator instincts." "Perhaps this will be too easy," Vrax mused. "The Council warned us not to underestimate them, but I see nothing impressive. Begin the harvest. Start with isolated targets. We will take a few specimens for study before we begin the real hunt." The first team landed in a forest in Canada. 3 Krathens in full battle armor, each standing 3 meters tall, armed with plasma weapons and molecular blades. Their target was a small research station, 5 humans studying wildlife. It should have been simple. Team leader Corax approached through the trees, his armor's cloaking field bending light around him. The humans were inside their wooden structure, unaware. He could smell their scent on the wind, weak, prey-like. This would be over in seconds. He kicked down the door, roaring to inspire terror, as he had done 1,000 times before. The humans looked up from their computers, and Corax waited for the screaming to begin. Instead, one human, a female with gray hair, said, "Oh, thank God. We've been expecting you." Corax hesitated. This was not the usual reaction. The woman stood up slowly, hands visible. "We detected your ship 3 days ago. Welcome to Earth. Would you like some coffee?" "You detected us?" Corax's translator struggled with the concept. Their ships were invisible to most species' technology. "Of course," said another human, a younger male. "Your cloaking field doesn't mask gravitational distortions. We've been tracking you since you entered the solar system. The whole planet knows you're here." Corax raised his plasma rifle. "You will come with us. You are prey. You will be studied and then eliminated." The woman smiled, and something in that expression made Corax's hunting instincts suddenly scream warnings. "I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding. You see, we've been waiting for someone like you to show up. We've been preparing." "Preparing?" Corax laughed. "Your weapons cannot harm us. Your technology is primitive." "Our visible technology is primitive," the woman corrected. "Tell me, Did your species develop faster than light travel on your own? Of course. The Krathens are superior beings. We conquered the stars through our own strength. Interesting. We didn't. The woman poured herself coffee with steady hands. We reverse-engineered it from a crashed ship 50 years ago. Then we decided to keep quiet about it. Do you know why? Corax's grip tightened on his weapon. Something was wrong. The humans were too calm. Because, the woman continued, we studied the Galactic Council's records. We learned about species like you, hunters, conquerors. And we realized that if we showed our true capabilities, you'd come for us eventually. So we hid, we prepared, and we waited. Lies, Corax snarled. You are prey. You will... The young male interrupted. Did you know that humans are persistence hunters? Our ancestors would chase prey for hours, days even. We're not fast, but we don't stop. We don't give up. And we're very, very good at setting traps. Corax heard a sound behind him. He spun around to see his two teammates frozen in place, some kind of energy field holding them rigid. When had that happened? He hadn't heard anything. Your armor is impressive, the woman said, sipping her coffee. But it has a fatal flaw. It's connected to your ship's network for coordination. And your ship's computer systems? They're about 30 years behind our current classified tech. Corax tried to move and found his armor had locked up. Every joint was frozen. He could only move his eyes and mouth. What? What are you? The woman walked closer, and now he could see something in her eyes that he recognized. The look of a predator that had successfully ambushed its prey. We're humans. We're not the strongest or the fastest. We don't have claws or fangs, but we have something far more dangerous. She tapped her temple. We think. We plan. And we've had 50 years to prepare for visitors like you. The Council will send more hunters. The entire Krathen fleet will come. We're counting on it, the young man said. You see, we've been having a debate on Earth. Should we reveal ourselves to the galaxy? Should we join the Galactic Council? The vote was pretty evenly split until you showed up. Nothing unites humans like a common threat. The woman nodded. Your arrival has done something we couldn't do ourselves. You've given 7 billion humans a reason to work together. So thank you for that. Corax felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries. Fear. Don't worry, the woman said. We're not going to kill you. We're going to send you back with a message. Earth is under our protection. Any species that comes here with hostile intent will discover why humans became the dominant species on a planet full of predators. You think you can threaten the Krathens? We have hunted for 10,000 years. And we've been hunting for 200,000 years, the woman replied. We just got better at hiding it behind civilization. Your mistake was thinking that made us weak. On the Krathen ship, Vrax watched the feed from Corax's armor go dark. The last image was of the human female's face, calm and confident. Sir, the communications officer said, voice tight with confusion. We're being hailed. It's coming from everywhere. Every radio source on the planet. Put it through. A human male appeared on screen, wearing what looked like a military uniform. Krathen vessel, this is General Morrison of Earth Defense Command. You have 1 hour to retrieve your hunters and leave our solar system. This is your only warning. Vrax snarled. You dare threaten us? We are the galaxy's apex predators. We will burn your cities and feast on your... Computer, the general said calmly. Execute demonstration alpha. Every screen on the Krathen bridge suddenly displayed the same message. System compromised. Have a nice day. Then the lights went out. Emergency power kicked in a second later, but the message was clear. Somehow, the humans had hacked their systems in seconds. That's a warning shot, the general continued as power returned. We could have vented your atmosphere or overloaded your reactor. We didn't. We're not the monsters here, but push us, and you'll learn why humanity's history is written in blood. You have 55 minutes. The transmission ended. Vrax stood in stunned silence. In 10,000 years of hunting, no prey had ever threatened them. No species had ever hacked their systems. No one had ever given them an ultimatum. "Sir," Thek whispered, "what do we do?" Vrax thought of the female human's eyes, that calm certainty, the way she had smiled when she said they'd been waiting. "Send the retrieval shuttle," he ordered. "Get our hunters back." "We're retreating?" Thek sounded shocked. "No," Vrax said slowly. "We're reassessing. These humans, they're not prey." "Then what are they?" Vrax stared at the blue planet below, and for the first time in his long life, he wondered if the Krathens had finally found something they shouldn't have hunted. "I don't know," he admitted, "but I think we're about to find out." The retrieval shuttle launched, racing toward the planet's surface. Vrax watched it go, his mind racing. The humans had been expecting them. They had been preparing. They had technology they kept hidden. What else were they hiding? "Sir," the sensor officer called out, "I'm detecting energy signatures across the planet, hundreds of them. They're powering up something. Weapons? Unknown. But sir, the energy levels are massive. Each signature is putting out more power than our main reactor." Vrax felt his blood chill. Hundreds of hidden installations, each one capable of generating enormous power. The humans hadn't been bluffing. "How did we miss these?" "They were shielded, sir, hidden underground or underwater. They only became visible when they powered up. It's like they wanted us to see them now." A demonstration of strength. The humans were showing them what they could have detected earlier if the humans hadn't hidden it. Showing them how outmatched they really were. The shuttle reached the research station. Through the feeds, Vrax watched his hunters being loaded aboard, their armor still locked, helpless as newborns. The human female was there, waving goodbye with that same calm smile. As the shuttle lifted off, she called out, "Tell your council that Earth sends its regards. We'll be joining the galactic community soon, but on our terms, not as anyone's prey." The shuttle docked, and Vrax ordered an immediate retreat. As they prepared to enter hyperspace, one last message appeared on their screens. "Humanity knows you're out there now. We'll be seeing you around the galaxy. Try not to hunt anything you can't handle. Earth Defense Command." The Krathen ship vanished into hyperspace, leaving Earth's orbit empty once again. But across the planet, in hidden bunkers and secret facilities, humans were already planning their next move. The hunters had become the hunted, and they didn't even know it yet. 2 weeks after the Krathen retreat, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. The massive chamber on Station Prime buzzed with nervous energy as representatives from 100 species gathered. The Krathen failure had sent shockwaves through civilized space. Counselor Zephix of the Altarians stood at the central podium, her telepathic voice reaching every mind present. "The humans have refused our demands for surrender. They claim the Krathens attacked without provocation." "They speak truth," rumbled Ambassador Gorok of the Thraxians. "We monitored the entire encounter. The humans only defended themselves." "Defended?" screeched Counselor Veep of the Aviacs. "They crippled a Krathen hunting vessel. They threatened the galaxy's most feared warriors. These humans are dangerous." High Counselor Maxime, eldest of the council, raised a crystalline hand for silence. "We must hear from the Krathens themselves. Commander Vrax, step forward." Vrax entered the chamber, but he was different from the proud warrior who had left on the hunt. His 4 arms hung lower, his predator's gaze seemed uncertain. The bone trophies were gone from his armor. "Tell us what happened," Maxime commanded. Vrax's words came slowly. "We underestimated them. The humans, they are not what they appear. They hid their true nature, their true technology. They were ready for us." "Impossible," Counselor Zephix protested. "Our intelligence shows Earth has only primitive space capabilities. Their fastest ships use fusion drives. Their weapons are kinetic projectiles and basic lasers. That's what they wanted us to see. Vrax said. But beneath the surface they have been preparing. They studied us, all of us. They know our weaknesses. The council erupted in arguments. Some called for immediate military action, others urged caution. The debate raged for hours until a new voice cut through the chaos. Perhaps you should ask the humans directly. Everyone turned to see a human walking into the chamber. She was small by galactic standards, wearing a simple black suit. No armor, no weapons, no escort. She walked with complete confidence through a room full of beings who could kill her with a thought. Security forces moved to intercept, but Maxime waved them off. "How did you get here? This station is in deep space. Location classified." The woman smiled. "You really should update your security systems. I'm Ambassador Sarah Chen, representing Earth. We thought it was time we introduced ourselves properly." "You dare infiltrate this sacred chamber?" Counselor Veep shrieked. "Infiltrate?" Sarah looked puzzled. "I walked through the front door. Your security scans cleared me. I took a shuttle from the public docking bay. I even signed the visitor log." She held up a visitor badge. "Very nice gift shop, by the way." The council exchanged worried glances. Station Prime's security was supposed to be impenetrable. "Why are you here?" Maxime asked. "To deliver a message and make a proposal," Sarah said. "First, the message. Earth is no threat to peaceful species. We've been monitoring galactic civilization for decades. We know who the real threats are." She looked directly at Vrax. "The Krathens have hunted 17 sentient species to extinction. They've enslaved dozens more. They came to Earth not because we were a threat, but because someone paid them to eliminate us." "You cannot prove," Counselor Zephyx started. "Actually, I can." Sarah touched a device on her wrist, and holographic documents appeared above the council floor. 50 million credits, transferred from a Galactic Council Black Fund to Krathen accounts. Authorization code traced to... "Oh, Counselor Zephyx, this is awkward. It was you." Zephyx's telepathic aura flared with panic. "Lies, human deception. We also have recordings of your secret meetings where you discussed how human technological advancement threatened your species' monopoly on certain technologies." Sarah continued calmly. "Would you like me to play them?" The chamber fell silent. Even accusing a counselor required enormous evidence, but this human had casually revealed one of the council's darkest secrets. "Now for our proposal," Sarah said. "Earth wants peace. We want to join the galactic community, but we have conditions." "Conditions?" Maxime's voice was carefully neutral. "You are in no position to make demands." "Aren't we?" Sarah smiled again. That same predator smile the Krathens had learned to fear. "Let me tell you what you don't know about humans. We're not conquerors. We're not interested in building an empire. But we are absolutely lethal when threatened." She paused, letting that sink in. "Do you know why we really hide our technology? It's not fear. It's mercy. Because if we showed you what we're truly capable of, half the species in this room would try to destroy us out of terror, and we'd have to defend ourselves. The galaxy would burn." "More threats?" Counselor Veep squawked. "No, just truth." Sarah pulled up new holograms. 20 years ago, the Skorax Empire sent a secret invasion fleet to Earth. 12 battleships, 3,000 fighters. They thought they could conquer us before we achieved spaceflight. Do you know what happened to them? The Council knew the Skorax fleet had vanished. It was one of the great mysteries. They entered our solar system and hit our outer defense grid, automated systems we built from scavenged alien tech and human innovation. The entire fleet was disabled in 12 minutes. We could have destroyed them, but instead, we sent them home with their weapons removed and a message. Leave us alone. The Skorax claimed their fleet was lost in a space anomaly, Gorok rumbled, because admitting that a primitive species defeated them would have destroyed their reputation, Sarah said. We let them save face. We've done the same with 6 other secret attacks over the years. Each time we grew stronger. Each time, We learned more about you. She walked to the center of the chamber, a lone human surrounded by the galaxy's most powerful beings. Here's what's going to happen. Earth will join the Galactic Council as a full member. We'll share some of our technology, medical advances that can cure diseases you think are incurable, agricultural techniques that can feed worlds, energy systems that make your current tech look like campfires. But we keep our military secrets. Unacceptable, several counselors said at once. Then we'll go our own way, Sarah shrugged. But ask yourselves, do you really want humanity as an enemy? We've survived everything our own planet could throw at us. We've survived each other. We've survived your secret attacks. We don't want to fight. But if forced, she let the threat hang. You cannot threaten the entire Galactic Council, Maxim said, but uncertainty colored his tone. I'm not threatening. I'm negotiating. Here's something else you should know. We're not alone. New holograms appeared showing Earth ships meeting with various species outside Council space. The refugees of the Phantom Zone who you abandoned, the free traders you tax into poverty, the remote colonies you ignore. They've been talking to us, trading with us, learning that humans can be trusted to keep their word and defend their allies. The implications hit the Council like a shockwave. If Earth allied with all the dissatisfied species outside Council control. You see, Sarah continued, humans have a saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We've been making a lot of friends, species you've hunted, like the survivors of Krathan attacks, civilizations you've exploited. They all have one thing in common. They need someone strong enough to stand up to bullies. She looked at Vrax. Even some Krathans have reached out to us. Turns out not all of your people enjoy being the galaxy's monsters. Some want a different path. Vrax's mandibles clicked in shock. How could she know about the underground peace movement among his people? So here's our offer, Sarah said. Accept Earth as a full member with autonomous military rights. Stop sending hunters and spies. Trade with us fairly. In return, we'll help stabilize the galaxy, share beneficial technologies, and not reveal the dirty secrets we've uncovered about half the species in this room. Blackmail, someone hissed. Diplomacy, Sarah corrected. The same kind you've used for millennia. We just do it better. High Counselor Maxim studied the small human woman who had single-handedly thrown the Galactic Council into chaos. And if we refuse? Sarah's expression grew serious. Then we'll leave you alone. But when your enemies come, and they will come, they always do, don't call us for help. When plagues ravage your worlds, don't ask for our cures. When your resources run dry, don't beg for our solutions. We'll be too busy helping the species who chose friendship over fear. She turned to leave, then paused. Oh, one more thing. We know about the Devourers. Every being in the chamber froze. The Devourers were a legend, an ancient threat from beyond the galaxy that consumed entire civilizations. Most believed they were myth. They're real, and they're coming, Sarah said quietly. Our deep space monitors detected their scout ships 6 months ago. You have maybe 10 years before the main fleet arrives. When they get here, you'll need every advantage you can get. Earth has been preparing. Have you? She walked toward the exit. You have 1 week to decide. Accept us as equals or face the future without us. Choose wisely. As the doors closed behind her, chaos erupted in the council chamber. But Vrax stood silent, thinking. The humans hadn't just infiltrated the council chamber. They'd infiltrated the entire galactic power structure. They knew secrets, had made alliances, prepared for threats others didn't even know existed. They weren't just dangerous. They were necessary. Later, in his private chambers, Vrax received an encrypted message. It was from his clutch brother, Krex, who led the Krathan peace movement. The humans kept their word, the message read. They could have exposed us to the Warrior Council, but they didn't. They offer us a chance to be more than hunters. To be protectors. Some of us are ready to accept. Vrax deleted the message and stared out at the stars. The galaxy had just shifted, and at the center of that shift was a small blue planet whose inhabitants had turned weakness into strength, isolation into preparation. The hunters had indeed met their match, but perhaps that wasn't a defeat. Perhaps it was an opportunity. 3 days later, Sarah Chen received a visitor at Earth's orbital embassy. Commander Vrax stood in her office. No weapons, no armor, just a simple robe. "I came alone," he said. "Against orders. My government wants to continue the hunt, but I have questions." Sarah gestured to a chair designed for his physiology. "Ask. How long have you known about the Devourers?" 60 years. We found records in an ancient probe that crashed on our moon. We've been reverse engineering their technology ever since." "And you truly believe you can fight them?" Sarah poured 2 cups of coffee, offering one to Vrax. "Humans have a unique perspective on survival. We evolved on a world that constantly tried to kill us. Predators, disasters, diseases, ice ages, even other humans. We learned that the best way to survive isn't to be the strongest. It's to be the most adaptable." Vrax sipped the coffee, finding it surprisingly pleasant. "The Council fears you. Good. Fear keeps them from doing something stupid, but we'd prefer respect. Some of my people want to accept your offer of alliance. They're tired of being feared. They want to be something else." "Everyone deserves a chance to change," Sarah said. "Even the galaxy's deadliest hunters." Vrax set down his cup. "The Council will vote soon. Councillor Zefix is rallying the hardliners, calling for a united fleet to destroy Earth. We know. We're ready. You can't fight the entire galaxy." Sarah smiled. "We won't have to. See, that's what you still don't understand about humans. Our greatest weapon isn't our technology or our cunning. It's our ability to inspire others, to show them a different way." She activated a hologram showing protests on dozens of worlds, signs in 100 languages calling for peace with Earth, for change in the Council. "Your people aren't the only ones tired of the old ways. The galaxy is ready for something new. We're just offering them a choice." Vrax stood to leave, then turned back. "If the Council votes for war, then we'll defend ourselves. But we'll do it in a way that minimizes casualties and maximizes the chance for peace afterward. We don't want to rule the galaxy. We just want our place in it. And if they vote for peace, then the real work begins, building trust, sharing knowledge, preparing for the Devourers, together." Vrax nodded slowly. "I'll speak to the Council. Tell them what I've learned. That's all we ask. The truth." As the Krathan commander left, Sarah turned back to her desk. On it lay reports from across human space, hidden fleets powering up, alliance treaties being signed in secret, scientists working on weapons that could crack planets or shields that could protect them. Humanity was ready for whatever came next. But they hoped, as they always had, for peace. Because humans knew a secret the rest of the galaxy was only beginning to understand. The most dangerous predator isn't the one with the biggest teeth or the sharpest claws. It's the one smart enough to make friends. The Galactic Council's vote was scheduled for dawn, but the upheaval had already begun during the night. Across Station Prime, representatives huddled in secret meetings. Alliances shifted like sand, and the old order crumbled before the voting even started. Councillor Zefix paced in her chambers, her telepathic emanations radiating fury. 3 of her most reliable allies had just withdrawn their support for military action against Earth. The humans had somehow contacted them, shown them something that changed their minds. "Counselor," her aide whispered, "there are humans on the station. Not just Ambassador Chen, dozens of them. They're meeting with everyone." "Impossible. Security let them in." Commander Therick of Station Security says they had proper authorization. Authorization that traces back to a vote we apparently took 20 years ago, but no one remembers. Zephix's multiple eyes widened. The humans hadn't just hacked their computers. They'd hacked their entire bureaucratic system, inserting permissions and authorizations that looked completely legitimate. A chime announced a visitor. The door opened to reveal a human male, elderly by their standards, wearing the robes of a scholar. "Counselor Zephix? I'm Professor Marcus Stone from Earth's Xenobiology Institute. I wondered if we might talk." "I have nothing to say to your kind," Zephix hissed. "That's unfortunate," Stone said mildly, entering anyway. "Because I have a great deal to say about your kind. Fascinating species, the Altarians. Telepathic, long-lived repository of vast knowledge. Also responsible for the cognitive plague that wiped out the Xanathi civilization 300 years ago." Zephix went still. "That's a lie." "Is it?" Stone produced a small device. "This contains the research data your people suppressed. The plague was an experiment in forced telepathic evolution gone wrong. The Xanathi were your test subjects. 17 billion died. You cannot prove—" "We can. We found the Xanathi Memorial Archive hidden in an asteroid field. They recorded everything as they died. Would you like the Council to see it during today's vote?" Zephix's telepathic aura dimmed. "What do you want?" "Nothing. This information will remain sealed if Earth is accepted as a full member. But if you push for war—" Stone shrugged. "Humans believe in truth. Even uncomfortable truth." He left, and Zephix sank into her chair. Across the station, similar meetings were taking place, each council member discovering that humans knew their darkest secrets, their hidden crimes, their species' shameful past. But it wasn't just blackmail. Other humans came with offers, medical data that could cure genetic diseases, agricultural techniques for struggling colonies, energy technology that could power entire systems, defense strategies against threats the Council didn't even know existed. Carrot and stick, hope and fear. The humans wielded both with surgical precision. In the Council chamber, High Counselor Maxim watched the representatives file in for the historic vote. He had ruled for 5 centuries, seen empires rise and fall, but nothing had prepared him for the humans. Ambassador Chen stood at the petitioner's platform, still alone, still unarmored. Behind her, holographic displays showed Earth as it truly was. Not the primitive world they'd expected, but a fortress bristling with hidden defenses. Orbital platforms disguised as space debris, moon bases hidden beneath metric tons of regolith, an entire civilization that had mastered the art of looking harmless. "Before we vote," Maxim said, "I must ask one question. Why reveal yourselves now? You could have remained hidden." Sarah smiled. "Because hiding is not living. Because the galaxy needs what we can offer. And because—" She paused. "Because we're tired of being alone." That simple truth resonated through the chamber. Every species knew the loneliness of the void, the yearning for connection across the stars. "But mostly," Sarah continued, "because the Devourers are coming, and the galaxy needs to be united when they arrive. Humans have survived by turning enemies into allies, by finding common ground. That's what we offer now. Not conquest, but cooperation." "You speak of the Devourers as if they're certain," Counselor Gorok rumbled. "Show them," Sarah said quietly. The hologram shifted, displaying images from deep space. Ships of impossible design, organic and mechanical fused into something alien beyond comprehension. Worlds stripped bare, entire systems dark and lifeless. "These are from our deep space probes," Sarah explained. "The Devourers aren't a myth. They're a harvest fleet. They sweep through galaxies every few million years, consuming everything. The last time they came, your ancestors were still primitive. Only ruins and legends remain." But they're coming back. The chamber erupted in voices. Some called the images fake. Others demanded more proof. But the fear was real now. Earth has been preparing, Sarah said over the noise. We've studied every scrap of data about them. We've built weapons based on their technology. We might be ready when they arrive. But alone, we'll fail. Together, the galaxy might survive. Maxim called for order. We will vote. All in favor of accepting Earth as a full member of the Galactic Council with autonomous military rights? Hands, tentacles, and energy fields rose around the chamber. Maxim counted carefully. 73 in favor. Those opposed? 22 members voted against, Zephix not among them. She sat silent, defeated by her own secrets. Motion carried, Maxim announced. Earth is hereby... Alarms suddenly screamed through the station. Every screen flashed red. Something had dropped out of hyperspace near Station Prime. Something massive. Devourer scout ship, someone screamed. Panic erupted. Representatives fled for their ships. Security forces mobilized. The station's ancient weapons powered up for the first time in centuries. Sarah touched her earpiece, listening to a report. Then she spoke, her voice somehow cutting through the chaos. Council members, please remain calm. That's not a Devourer ship. The main screen activated, showing the vessel that had appeared. It was human in design, but unlike anything they'd shown before. Kilometers long, bristling with weapons that hurt to look at, reality bending around its hull. That's the ESS Tenacity, our flagship, Sarah explained. We thought you might need a demonstration. You brought a warship to a peace negotiation? Maxim's voice held both awe and anger. We brought protection, Sarah corrected, because... New alarms sounded. This time, the ship dropping from hyperspace was truly alien. A Devourer scout, drawn by the gravitational wake of the human vessel. It was smaller than the Tenacity, but radiated menace, its biomechanical hull shifting and adapting as it scanned the station. All council members to emergency shelters, Maxim ordered. Station defenses, engage the intruder. Station Prime's weapons fired. Ancient plasma cannons and missile batteries unleashed everything they had. The Devourer ship's shields absorbed the attacks like rain hitting an umbrella. On the main screen, the human flagship moved to intercept. Sarah spoke calmly into her communicator. Captain Morrison, you are authorized to engage. Show them what Earth can do. The Tenacity fired. Not plasma or missiles, but something else. Beams of twisted space-time that bypassed shields entirely. Projectiles that phased in and out of reality. Weapons based on principles the Council's scientists had only theorized about. The Devourer scout fought back. Energy tendrils lashed out, trying to drain the Tenacity's power. Biomechanical fighters launched from its hull. For a moment, it seemed the battle could go either way. Then the human ship did something impossible. It split into a dozen smaller vessels, each one fully armed, surrounding the Devourer craft in a perfect sphere. They fired in unison, reality screaming as their weapons converged. The Devourer ship imploded, crushed by forces that shouldn't exist. In seconds, only debris remained. The Tenacity reformed into a single vessel, taking position between the station and open space. On every frequency, a message broadcast, "This is Captain Morrison of Earth Fleet. Station Prime is under our protection. Any hostile force will be met with overwhelming response." In the council chamber, silence reigned. They had just witnessed a single human ship destroy a Devourer scout, something their combined fleets had failed to do in simulations. Sarah stood at the podium, her expression serious now. The Tenacity is one of 12 ships we've built. We have plans for hundreds more, but we need resources, allies, shared knowledge. The Devourers won't send just scouts next time. They'll send their harvest fleet. How? Counselor Gorok asked. How did you develop such weapons? By being human, Sarah said simply. by taking risks others wouldn't, by experimenting with technologies others feared, by preparing for the worst while hoping for the best. We crashed a dozen prototype ships learning to manipulate space-time. We lost researchers to dimensional accidents. But we learned. She looked around the chamber. This is what we offer. Not just protection, but the willingness to do what must be done, to take the risks, to pay the prices, because that's what humans do. We survive. Vrax stood up in the observers section. I wish to make a statement. Maxim nodded permission. The Krathens have hunted for millennia, Vrax said. We believed strength came from killing. The humans have shown us strength comes from protecting. I speak now not for my government, but for myself and those who think like me. We pledge our ships and our lives to the defense of the galaxy. We will hunt the Devourers as we once hunted others. Other voices joined his. Species who had remained silent, afraid of the old order, now spoke up. Offers of alliance, of shared technology, of united purpose. Sarah smiled, and this time it wasn't a predator's smile, but something warmer. Earth accepts all offers of friendship. Together we'll face whatever comes. Later, as the council dispersed to spread the news across the galaxy, Maxim found himself alone with Ambassador Chen. You planned this, he said. The Devourer scout appearing just as we voted, the perfect demonstration of your power. Sarah's expression gave nothing away. The scout was real. We've been tracking it for weeks. As for the timing, she shrugged. Sometimes the universe provides opportunities. Humans are just very good at recognizing them. Your species terrifies me, Maxim admitted. Good. A little fear keeps everyone honest. But we'd rather be your terrifying friends than your enemies. Maxim studied her. What do you really want? Not your species. You, personally. For the first time, Sarah's diplomatic mask slipped, showing the woman beneath. I want my daughter to grow up in a galaxy where being different isn't a death sentence, where strength protects instead of conquers, where my species can finally stop hiding and start living. And if we had voted against you? Then we would have protected Earth and let the galaxy burn when the Devourers came. But that's not who we want to be. We've been alone long enough. Maxim extended his crystalline hand. Sarah took it, human warmth meeting alien cool. Welcome to the Galactic Council, Ambassador. May the stars forgive us for making you wait so long. 6 months later, Earth's first colony ship launched toward the stars. Not a warship, not a hunter, but a vessel full of families, scientists, dreamers. Its hull bore the flags of Earth and the symbol of the Galactic Council side by side. In the command center, Captain Rachel Morrison, daughter of General Morrison, watched the stars stretch into lines as they entered hyperspace. Beside her stood her executive officer, a young Krathen named Vrex, son of Vrax. Think we're ready for this? Vrex asked. Rachel grinned. Humans are never ready. We just jump in and figure it out as we go. That's insane. That's human. Behind them, the tactical display showed green lights across the board. Hidden in hyperspace, 2 escort ships shadowed them. One human, one a mixed crew of allied species. Protection and cooperation, the new way forward. Throughout the galaxy, the transformation continued. Human medical ships arrived at plague-stricken worlds with cures. Agricultural advisors helped failing colonies become self-sufficient. Military advisors taught defense tactics to species who had only known how to run or hide. But most importantly, humans told stories. Stories of Earth's history, of rising from caves to stars. Stories of failure and success, of war and peace, of how the weakest species on a dangerous world became something the galaxy had never seen before. Not conquerors, not prey, something new. The Galactic Council's next session was held on Earth, in a city called Geneva. Representatives from across the stars walked among humans, saw their art, tasted their food, heard their music. They learned that the species they'd feared was also the species that created beauty from chaos, hope from despair. In a quiet moment, Vrax found Sarah Chen standing by a window, looking out at the Alps. "Do you miss it?" he asked. "The secrecy, the hiding?" "Sometimes," she admitted. "There was safety in shadows. But shadows are no place to live." She turned to him. "Your people are adapting well to their new role. Hunters becoming protectors, it's not easy. Instincts run deep." "But not as deep as choice," Sarah said. "That's what makes us all more than our nature, the ability to choose who we want to be." A young human girl ran up, followed by a young Krathen. They were playing some form of tag, laughing without fear of each other. "Mommy, look! Crex taught me to climb walls!" Sarah scooped up her daughter. "That's wonderful!" "Sweetie, did you teach him anything?" "I taught him hide and seek. Humans are really good at hiding." Vrax clicked his mandibles in amusement. "Not anymore, young one. Now humans are good at being found." As the children ran off to play, Sarah and Vrax stood in comfortable silence. Outside, human and alien ships rose toward the stars together. The galaxy had found its protectors in the most unlikely place, a small blue world whose children had learned to turn fear into strength, isolation into preparation, and enemies into friends. The hunters had met their match. And in losing, they had won something greater, a future where the hunt was not for prey, but for knowledge, friendship, and the courage to face the darkness together. Earth stood ready, no longer alone, no longer hidden. The real story was just beginning,